The thing I didn't see last night live, but when I was watching the speech, in Mobile, I guess it was. No, it was New Hampshire. It was the first time I actually saw him just totally freeform. I just sat there with my mouth like a lot of times he just wouldn't complete sentences, but it didn't matter because the audience was like completing sentences for him. But it's just like Howard said, people who have done this and whatever, and Howard's done on a much higher level than me, you just sit there and it's like your mouth's wide open going, oh my God.
You'd have to see it in person to really appreciate it. I've seen it in person in New Hampshire. It is complete stream of consciousness. But as he continues, there's no periods, there's no exclamation points in it, it's stream of consciousness, but you can see people nodding their heads as he raises one point after another. And the difference between when I saw him live in person in New Hampshire and last night, as Howard indicated, it was live, which is phenomenal in itself, carried live on a couple of different cable channels. There's a marked improvement in the skill with which he delivers and seemingly the sense of where he's going with what he's going with. He tunes into the audience as he speaks. He takes the vibe from the audience.
And how interesting, Mika, as Howard said, you can disagree, and there's going to be a lot of disagreement with what happened at first with Jorge Ramos, but he shifted in gear, brings him back in, and then he sits there and actually, the second time through, again, does a good job and much more patient than I would have been with a lecture.
I think there's two now strains of sort of wars with different reporters that we're following, and I don't know. I think if you go in with an angle and you go in with an attack, it's not going to work because he will call it out like he calls everything else out. Just ask him questions and let the answers speak for themselves, because that's the story. You go into attack, it's not going to work.
I disagree with that some, Mika. Unfortunately, the two people he's at odds with are a woman and a Hispanic.
Yeah.
And that is not, I don't think that's coincidental, and I don't think it's a good thing for either him or the Republican Party.
Well, let me just say, as a member of the Republican Party that saw Mitt Romney make a couple of statements, a good guy that I love and respect, Mitt, said a couple things in Iowa that hung around his neck the rest of the campaign season, and he got, what, 24, 25, 26%. The Republican Party will never win. Never win so long as they're in the 20s with the Hispanic vote. Let me say it again. They will never win.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark it down.